My colleague always likes to ask me to trade the night shift for the day shift. My dear sister, my son is only 10 years old and he is afraid of the dark, so you can consider it as a favor. I feel sorry for him. It is not easy to be a single mother, so I did not refuse. I worked the night shift for 3 consecutive months and ended up in the ICU. But he not only did not feel guilty, but complained to me beside the bed that I was so young and why I couldn't make it through the night. It must be because I had a cat at home that affected my rest, and I shouldn't have had a cat. I was angry, but I didn't want to break up with him, but he was so arrogant. How about this? I'll raise a cat for you and you'll work the night shift for me on New Year's Eve. I was stunned. How could this person be so shameless? Sister Lee, I can't change my New Year's Eve reunion with my family. He didn't seem to expect that I, who have always been submissive, would dare to refuse this time. He immediately educated me, Xiao Su, with a dark face. Young people are in good health and it won't be a problem to stay up a few more nights. Besides, you have old people and young children to take care of. Can't you be considerate? I also understand. I have replaced your night shift for 3 months. I went into shock during the ward rounds. Fortunately, I was discovered in time by my family members who accompanied me and sent to the ICU for rescue. Otherwise I might have died. This is not considerate. Forgive you. He didn't take it seriously and curled his lips. Young man, good deeds will bring good results. The tone sounded as if I would be unforgivable if I didn't help, and deserved to die. I felt pain and blood rush to my forehead. I have old people above me and young children below me. What does it have to do with me? Before I finished speaking, the head nurse came back from changing the water. He saw that Sister Lee's eyes were red, and he scolded me, a young man, without asking any questions. Don't speak with such low EQ. Everyone likes to educate young people. I was too lazy to argue with them, so I took the notebook and went to look for it. Unexpectedly, Sister Lee stopped me and said, "Say goodbye. I kneel down in front of you, please switch shifts with me." I promised. My son has to stay up with him on New Year's Eve. Everyone has a family. I quickly supported him and pushed him on the chair. I also agreed. My grandma wants to accompany him to make dumplings. The atmosphere was stalemate. A passing patient poked his head in. The nurse was half admitted. I let go and prepared to take care of it. The head nurse was quick-witted. She said, "Wait a moment," closed the door, turned around and complained about the difficulty of my understanding. "You also." "No, you agreed to switch shifts with him before. Why not this time? And what about making dumplings? It's not possible to make dumplings during the day. You are clearly making excuses. My grandma is in another province. It takes 4 hours to drive here. And whoever is assigned to the shift by the computer has to recognize me. Helping is a favor, not helping is my duty. Don't think I have no temper, let you flatten around. Anyway, I won't change." At the same time the alarm rang. I took the opportunity to push the head nurse who was blocking the door to the side. "The patient needs it. Work first and ignore it." I heard Sister Lee's gritting teeth behind me. "Su Wei Wei, you wait for me." It didn't take long to wait. The next week I saw Lee, my sister's revenge method. There are 9 nurses in our respiratory department, working in 3 shifts. The strange thing is that no matter who I work with, they are all very busy. They seem to be glued to the computer, and always sit in front of the computer to write nursing records. This involves the doctor's judgment on the condition. You can't be impatient. As a result, it took an hour to finish writing 100 words. Another one said that she was accompanying her aunts and uncles to see a doctor, and she disappeared from time to time. When she finally came back, she was sitting at the nurse station playing with her mobile phone. She didn't care about anything else. I argued with him, but he was very tolerant. "You are the new here. You should do more work like making the bed, giving injections and cleaning up. Otherwise, how can you have the opportunity to exercise?" Not only that, even the colleagues who were taking over the shift bullied me. The nurses in the previous shift deliberately dripped the liquid very slowly and dragged it until I came to work to change. Xiaoya, who came to take over the shift, saw that the nurses' station was in a mess. Without asking the reason, she scolded me, saying, "You have been here for half a year. How come you can't do anything well? Look at this mess. Do it if you can and get out if you can't." I followed his hand and glanced at the table, where various forms and registration books were mixed. Snack bags and garbage were randomly placed. What's more annoying is that the nursing records that should have been filled in were blank. This means that he who takes over has to copy the changes in the patient's condition word by word on the electronic version. This kind of butt-cleaning thing would make anyone angry. But I just came out of the ward and I was busy all night. Don't you know who was at the nurse's station when you came? Why didn't you go to them? And you asked me to get out. Isn't that too much? I don't understand what good it will do you if I get out. The new year is coming soon. Every department, they are all busy. It's impossible to transfer a nurse over. And I'm leaving. You are the youngest here. Who do you think Sister Lee will ask to take over?" Xiaoya understood, and the expression on his face suddenly became like a frightened bird. "If you leave now, you won't get the certificate. You can't leave. It's the truth. If you don't get that certificate, you can't go to any hospital in the future. That's why they are so confident in bullying me. It's a pity that I don't care about that certificate at all. No one can use it to control me." I looked towards the elevator entrance and asked Xiaoya with a smile, "It's time now. How are your shift partners? Why hasn't he come yet?" Hearing this, his face changed drastically. He lost his fierceness and started to pick up the garbage on the table. I know that his shift partners are Sister Lee and the head nurse. They are habitual offenders of being late. leaving early and slacking off at work. I also know that Xiaoya's family is not well off and she cherishes this job very much. They all like to bully the weak. I filled in the handover information, slammed the medical record book on the table, and copied for half an hour. When I finished copying, the two big Buddhas still hadn't come. They were too bullying. I stopped Xiaoya, who had just changed the water and went to get the medicine, and said, Do you want to just go on like this? Or do you want to endure for 10 years and be the next one? She looked at me with understanding, biting her lip and saying nothing. I was so disappointed in her. I wanted to know why you all helped Sister Lee to exclude me. Who is she? Even the head nurse sided with her. She opened her mouth and I quickly pricked up my ears. At this time I heard a sarcastic remark from behind. Oh, look at the model worker of our department. He doesn't leave even when it's time to hand over his shift. He's really trying to show off. He loves going to work so much. Come on and do it for me. The footsteps were getting closer and closer. Xiaoya looked the same, flustered. She pushed my hand away, but I was feeding the patient medicine. I felt powerless. I understood and went home to fall asleep. I was still dreaming about how to deal with this understanding. Unexpectedly, at 3:10 p.m., my mobile phone received a bunch of very important messages. 3 p.m. is the time for the handover between the day and night shifts. The message was from Xiaoya. It was said that it was a distant relative of the department director, who said that she was specially taken care of when the shifts were manually scheduled in the past. She was only scheduled for the day shift and did not have to work the evening shift, let alone the night shift. Later, after the computer scheduling was changed, he did not. The director has reminded us to take care of colleagues in need. He is very smart and seldom bothers the elderly. He always bullies the new nurses who come for internship and regular training. The director has the final say on how much performance bonus should be given. He can decide the coefficient and no one dares to offend him. Sister Lee has greeted us before and told us to work normally on duty so as not to tire ourselves out. No one swapped shifts with him. Later, when you refused to swap shifts, he told us that he would torture you to death and force you to admit your mistakes. You asked me who Sister Lee is. I was very surprised. Didn't you agree to change shifts because you knew his background? We all went through this, waiting in agony for the next newcomer. And your return syndrome is still under pressure in the hospital. It's all because of the director's words. It's only been 2 years. You have to endure it. It's impossible to endure it. It's stupid enough to be taken advantage of your kindness. If you don't dare to fight back when you are framed, you are too cowardly. After I made up my mind, I called Xiaoya back and said, I will switch shifts with you, day shift for day shift, and next time I will be Sister Lee's partner. He was silent for a while, then said okay. So I immediately called my childhood friend and asked him to come to the hospital at 8:30 tomorrow morning. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the nurse's station was still messy. The nurse on duty saw that it was me and her eyes widened. How could it be you? Xiaoya, that would alarm the enemy. I pretended to be docile. He asked me to change shifts. You guys should leave. He didn't ask much, yawned and walked out. After a few steps, he turned back and reminded me that there was nothing to do in the morning, so I should clean the nurse's station first. Okay, I smiled and nodded and found the nursing record book swiftly. They didn't stay long and left after giving the instructions. I didn't care about the garbage station at all and rushed into the ward. After a while, the little kid shouted loudly. What's going on? Why is there no one at the nurse's station? Come on, I'm in a hurry to get admitted to the hospital. This guy is very punctual. I drew blood for the patient in bed 17 and hesitated for a while before leaving. The family member of bed 18 couldn't wait to grab me, nurse, and said, Wait a minute, my dad's water is changed, and it will take another 5 minutes. I glanced outside the door, pretending to be embarrassed, as if someone was waiting at the nurse's station. How about I go and take a look first? No, the family member of bed 18 is notoriously picky. He has his reasons. He said that he is here to process the admission and there is nothing urgent. But if you leave, you may not be able to change the water within 10 minutes. Where can I find you then? What if the patient gets injected? He has a point. I suggested that I adjust the injection water for my uncle faster to save the half-admitted patients from waiting. No, the family member refused again. I said that if I injected it too fast, how could the old man bear it? There are 3 nurses in your shift. Do you have to go to the half-admitted hospital? Are you, the nurse, deliberately making things difficult for us? The more he spoke, the angrier he became. He simply closed the door and told me to wait here. I wanted nothing more than to wait. After 5 minutes, I changed the water for the old man. As expected, the family member asked me to feed my father medicine, change his bed sheets, and check on his swollen hands. Do you know why I had to come to this ward on time? The family member is so troublesome, and I am happy to kill time with him until the head nurse, pushing the door open, pointing at my nose and scolding. Are you deaf? The patient has been shouting at the nurse's station for more than 10 minutes. Can't you hear me? I tell you, this is a major mistake at work. You just wait to be punished. It's so funny that you treat me like a fool. The hospital will not punish you two who are late and punish me. I, who work diligently, forced the corners of my mouth down with a sad face. The family of bed 18 kept dragging me to change the water and sheets. I was planning to leave after I was done with all this, But unfortunately the family was afraid of offending the head nurse and refused to admit it. It was you who had been staying here, it's none of my business. Go away, don't make noise here, disturbing my dad's rest. So I was dragged to the nurse's station by the head nurse, and the department director looked at me seriously. Su Weiwei, do you know you were wrong? You caused our department to be reported, which will affect the performance of all of us. Maybe this is why there are always people who clean up the butts of those two bad apples. I held my pockets tightly. I looked at the recorder in the room and looked directly at the director calmly. I went to work on time and have been serving patients in the ward. What's wrong with me? In my impression, no nurse has dared to disobey him. He was furious and his face was ferocious. He slammed the table. He didn't know what was important and what was not. He didn't have the ability to respond on the spot, and he didn't know he was wrong. Do you think that this matter was caused by Xiao Chan and Xiao Li not coming on time? Look at how unconvinced you are. I tell you they didn't come on time because I had a sudden talk with them. What are you talking about so early in the morning? You must be kidding. I looked at the director with amusement and lied about where Sister Li was. She hasn't come yet. Without waiting for the director's reply, the head nurse jumped out hurriedly, her hand almost pointing at my face. Why do you always think so badly of your colleagues? You asked where Sister Li was, right? She was busy arranging the hospitalization for the patient just now. Didn't you see that she was taking the escalator all the way, saying nice things to beg people to cancel the report? She is not as happy as you are. In front of the director Zamabana? I said. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I'm not the one who's supposed to do this. I sat on a bench beside the bed and started chatting with my childhood friend. Look, pretty boy, it's not easy for the new intern girl either. Should we just let this go? What's the point of letting this go? Although they three made colluded statements, I have the recording. This matter cannot be blamed on me. Moreover, I am very optimistic. The surveillance at the gate should be fine. I knocked on the door at the hunting time. Sister Li, why are you still here? It's very busy outside. The family of bed 18 is throwing a tantrum. My childhood friend spoke to me as soon as he saw it was me. No wonder there was no one at the nurse's station just now. You nurses just like to be lazy and ignore the needs of our patients. I'm going to report it, and report it again. When Sister Li heard the word report, her face turned pale. She didn't dare to pull me out to scold the patient. Do you have any sense to see that I am staying here? The patients are here for you. Don't you know that the family of bed 18 is throwing a tantrum? Go ahead. There is also the garbage at the nurse's station. Go and clean it up immediately. I looked at him puzzled. I fought with you all. My face is broken, but I can still be bullied by you. Patients like to report and report. I have a clear conscience. I will go to persuade the patients later and actively safeguard their legal rights and interests. Bed 18 you can go or not, anyway I won't go. When the family of bed 18 also reports, it's just the right to smash the pot. No one can eat. There is also the garbage at the nurse's desk. The person on duty did it. Why should I clean it up? Whoever wants to investigate can investigate. I'm not investigating. I'm so nice to people. After dealing with Sister Li, I felt refreshed and peed immediately. When I came back, I rushed to do some easy and time-consuming work. I was happy like a god. There were several times when the head nurse called me and asked me to serve the critically ill patients. Sister Li felt phlegm several times. Bed 18 coughed and vomited everywhere. Sister Li was uncomfortable and cried. You go and take turns too, but that won't work. When everyone excluded me before, they didn't help me and took turns. I pretended to be embarrassed. I'm giving the patient oxygen. I'll go later. I'm putting the patient on the instrument. I'll go there later. I just won't go anyway. I'd rather have fun first. After handing over the shift, I didn't rush to the meeting room to be criticized. I went to the monitoring room and wanted to retrieve the door monitoring of the employee passage today. I was told, girl, you don't have the authority. I settled for the next best thing. Uncle, I forgot to punch in today. If the leader investigates, I want to use the door monitoring as evidence that I came to work on time. The monitoring is not broken, right? I entered the door at 7:50. I believe and understand. They definitely didn't enter the door before 8 o'clock. It's just that the director is in charge of punching in attendance. If he doesn't check, no one will. Fortunately, the uncle is a good man. He rest assured that the monitoring will be well kept and recorded clearly for you. I was relieved and went straight to the meeting room. For the first time, no one scolded me. It's just that the director didn't pretend. He skipped the investigation process and directly convicted me. The hospital requires you to write a statement of the situation. If you write it, just say it is your dereliction of duty. You are only allowed to explain, not quibble, and your punishment will not be. It's serious. You will be fined 1 month's performance. In addition, you took the initiative to apply for the night shift on New Year's Eve. I don't accept that they are late and blame me. The head nurse stood up excitedly and asked, "What do you mean by we are late? Watch your attitude." Sister Lee glared at me fiercely and asked, "Do you know what respecting the elderly means? You push all the heavy and tiring work and critically ill patients to your predecessors during working hours. Your books have all gone to dogs' stomachs. You respect the elderly." I laughed. "Sister Lee, you are only 34 years old in the prime of life. Why are you allowed to bully others and not resist? You rely on your seniority to take over shifts every day, and you are late and leave early, leaving critical illnesses to young people. If this goes on, young people will be exhausted into the ICU by you sooner or later." Looking around, I glanced at the director. "I'm not afraid to tell you that I came here with a recorder today. You are responsible for what you say." The director was not afraid at all. He looked at me contemptuously and was not afraid to tell you that there is a signal in this conference room, and shielding the recorder will not work at all. That I advise you to be sensible. If you do as I say, I can still let you off the hook. Otherwise, go back to Beijing and don't want me. Your career will end here. I was slightly distracted. There are still regular tertiary hospitals, but there is no law. Sister Lee saw me in a daze, thinking that I was frightened. She looked at me smugly. "Just listen to the director, and we won't make it difficult for you. I'll go and say hello. The class will be the same as before, and we won't leave you a mess. But you have to give me your cat." This is the second time he has mentioned the cat. The cat will not be in trouble. I was angry. "Why are you always thinking about my cat? I bought my cat for 20,000 yuan. Can you afford it, Duan?" "If you don't believe me," he sneered and said, "You're just bragging. What kind of lousy cat costs 20,000 yuan? Then he smiled happily. "My son has good taste. He likes high-end products." He pointed at me and blamed you. "Why do you always post cats on your circle of friends? I don't care if my son likes it, you have to give it to me." I couldn't believe it. I was about to start scolding when the head nurse held me affectionately and said, "Look, you've raised the cat for so long. It costs money to raise a cat. This job, the salary is not much, so just do a favor and give the cat to Sister Lee." I brushed his hand away. They are definitely a bunch of idiots. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense. I formally informed them that I will actively learn from the head nurse and Sister Lee in the future. I will be late and leave early for at least half an hour. If you are not afraid of accidents, you can continue to be late and leave early. I will also learn those behaviors of accompanying relatives to see a doctor during working hours and hiding in the warehouse to play with mobile phones. If you have the guts, go and report me. The bigger the better. It's better to attract the disciplinary inspection department to investigate thoroughly. You are shameless, right? After I finished speaking, I slammed the door and walked out. I didn't expect that I had a trick up my sleeve. They had a ladder over the wall. In the following shifts, they changed randomly, and finally it turned out that no matter what shift it was Xiaoya, me, and another young nurse together. I never kill innocent people. I have no choice but to go to work honestly. By the way, make a small plan with me. You go to the intensive care unit and promote the head nurse and Sister Lee. Just say that they are experienced and good at taking care of patients. If they feel uncomfortable, let the family members be sure to 你的保健按摩网好好好会所补品，用所给动词的适当形式填空。Who are you if you're not the one slamming the table? Our department has never been reported before, but we have been reported since you caused trouble, and 5 times a week. You want to retaliate against your colleagues, right? Well, our department can't tolerate a big Buddha like you. Get out of here quickly. This is strange. I haven't made any mistakes or slackness in my work. Why should I get out? Looking at the director's incompetent roar, I find it inexplicably funny. It's impossible for me to resign on my own initiative. If you have a suitable reason, just fire me. I'll apply for labor arbitration and we'll see you in court. He couldn't do anything to me and was so angry that he covered his chest. I smiled and gave him advice. Director, if this department is always reported, you won't feel good about your year-end performance evaluation, right? How about I give you an idea? I deliberately paused, and he urged me impatiently. I gritted my teeth and blurted out one word, saying that I follow the advice. The atmosphere of the nurse station in our department needs to be rectified. Let's not talk about anything else. This problem of lateness needs to be solved. Report it truthfully and deduct money if necessary. As for shirking work during working hours problem, you just need a wise head nurse and understanding, let them pay attention. Then this is not a problem. After some communication, the director sighed heavily. I don't know what distant relative he is. Can he protect him like this? My eyes accidentally hit the photo frame on the table. The director's wife looked familiar. I suddenly had a flash of inspiration. Could it be that no matter what, after all, my future is more important? The director announced at the regular meeting that lateness would be deducted. As for those who reported, there were pictures and videos. Those who wrote materials on their own and were punished and deducted performance points, And those who reported by the little boss the things that no one in the hospital cared about halfway. In the end it was the head nurse who took it all. There was a big trick in it. I even suspected that the director had some handle on the head nurse. I glanced at the head nurse. Calmly, my expression was calm. The nurses looked at each other. Only Sister Lee seemed to be choked by a big lump. Her expression was wonderful. I couldn't help but grin at her. He immediately stared at me with a vicious and straight look. The shape of his mouth should be saying, "You wait for me, just wait, the defeated enemy will come." 1 month before New Year's Eve, the weather was good and the harvest was favorable. I found that since the struggle achieved a phased victory, my colleagues have become better. They no longer exclude me and go to work in an orderly manner, and sometimes even ask me for help. Wei, can you switch shifts with me? Lulu, who used to like to throw snacks and garbage around, now looks at me carefully and doesn't take advantage of you. I will exchange day shifts with you and night shifts with you. I just don't want to be a shift partner of Sister Lee and the head nurse. He sincerely apologized to me and explained what he had done before. He didn't do it. He also told me that he came to express his position on behalf of the other 6 nurses. We also don't like the previous working environment, but no one is willing to be the first to speak out. If you are willing to continue to rectify our nurse station, we will listen to your arrangements. Now that it has been said to this point, I really can't refuse. I am willing to do things that benefit others and myself. After changing shifts quickly, I went to work happily. Not to mention that the head nurse and Sister Lee really gave face to the director. Absolutely on time, I reported to the nurses' station just after I was called, not a minute late, but when they saw that I was their shift partner, their brows were so furrowed that they could pinch a fly to death, and they just pointed their fingers at me. I took 2 deep breaths and couldn't utter a word. I didn't want to pay any attention to them, so I signed the handover book and went to see the doctor's orders and prescriptions. At this time, the head nurse caught up with me and said, Wei, you can't always grab the easy work. The critical care of our shift belongs to you. No matter how he likes to be a gun, I rolled my eyes and refused. Head nurse, you can't always be idle and leave the difficulties to the young people. He was stunned and looked at me like a monster. There was no turning back. I couldn't care less and could only fight to the end. In the end, the compromise plan after the 3 of us discussed was to manage the wards separately and distribute the critically ill patients evenly. It should have been done a long time ago. I nodded and had no objection, but how could Sister Lee, who was used to enjoying herself, stand such an intensity of work? In the next week, he jumped up and down looking for someone to take over the shift. Unfortunately, no matter how he changed, he was only able to switch to the same shift with me, and others only agreed to switch to parallel shifts with him. Seeing that he couldn't get any advantage, he lost his defense. In the group, he played the victim to us one by one, saying that we were targeting him and praising him. He sent more than a dozen emoticons of collapse and crying. It was a pity that there were only 9 people in the group. Except for the head nurse who jumped out to comfort him, the others were lurking and no one paid any attention to him. He acted for a while and then felt bored and stopped talking. Logically, he should have been honest at this time, but he actually took an unpredictable approach. Do you know that Sister Lee handed in her resignation, and the director asked her to think about it again and approved her 2 days of leave? So tomorrow I, the unlucky guy, will have to cover her shift. Lulu sent a message to the group of 7 people, and the group instantly exploded. What should we do? How to endure the next step? 8 people will work on the shift of 9 people, and don't forget, Sister Lee has the night shift on New Year's Eve, and then she will have to recruit someone from the few of us to cover her. Yes, he also has several night shifts next week. He must have done it on purpose. Everyone was excited and directly sent the message to Jojo's home. I have to admire our Sister Lee. This is a conscious act. I went straight to the 9 group, but Sister Lee, we are not going to do this anymore. I have elderly parents and young children to take care of. If I quit, how can I have money to rent and raise the children? Your community is not cheap, right? I heard that it is not rented but bought. We are nurses in the same unit. Is the income gap so big? No way, do you have any gray income? Take us with you? I was still typing in the chat box when I was kicked out unexpectedly. My colleagues were bullying the group one after another. I was a little angry. He can sue you for spreading rumors. Why don't we just forget it? Let's just complain here. He is going to resign. Is there any other way? Of course there is a way. I called the director and told him that Sister Lee wanted to resign. I disagreed and he hung up directly. I didn't give up and sent a message instead. My request is very simple. He has to work until at least June next year. We can't leave until a new nurse is hired in our department. Don't say you can't influence him. I have his child and your paternity test report in my hand. You should pay for the house. Don't because it is unnoticed by gods and ghosts. As long as it exists, it will leave traces. As soon as the last message was sent, the director called me. Su Weiwei, who are you? What are you doing in the hospital? I didn't say anything and hung up the phone. After a while, he sent me a message saying, I promise you not to talk nonsense. The scumbag is just a cheapskate. So Sister Lee, who wanted to resign in a carefree manner, came back early the next day. Not only did she come back, but she also looked at me with great caution. Her hatred was hidden and replaced by fear, as if she was afraid that she would offend me again. She started working consciously as soon as she came, and was busy from work to get off work. Now the group was excited again. My colleagues asked me secretly, "What method did you use? What was said in the group couldn't be true. What's the inside story?" I kept my promise and didn't say a word. I just worked hard. After a while, they sighed that they still had to rely on young people to rectify the workplace. Of course, I didn't get carried away. I knew that they were just praising a bird that stood out, that they needed a tool. If one day the powerful power prevails again, they will be the steadfast fence-sitter. So I rejected their private invitation and met my junior high school teacher in a coffee shop instead. I haven't seen Teacher Gua for a long time. The confident and beautiful woman in my impression is gone. At the class reunion a few years ago, I heard that Teacher Gua was not happy. It seemed that her husband had cheated on her, but I was not sure. When I saw Teacher Gua on my director's desk again, I was shocked. I contacted him through various channels and found out that the director had indeed cheated on me and transferred a large amount of marital property. The teacher did not divorce and did not resist. He said he would support me for the rest of my life. I foolishly believed him. I resigned after I became pregnant and did not go out to work after giving birth to my daughter. I had no income, and he threatened me that if I dared to cause trouble, he would not pay a penny and would starve us mother and daughter to death. Jingjing was in the 3rd year of high school, and I did not dare to affect her. At that time, Cher heard about the teacher's experience and I was very sad. I said that I would wait until Jingjing finished the college entrance examination, and I would support you in any way you wanted to deal with it. If you want to find a job, I can also help, not only help, be responsible to the end. I looked at the teacher worriedly. He took a sip of coffee and smiled at me. "Don't worry about me, I couldn't hold back this breath a long time ago. I was thinking of waiting until Jingjing took the college entrance examination before taking action. Your appearance helped a lot, I've thought about it. I will divorce when Jingjing is admitted to the university." I nodded and I will let her leave the house as soon as I changed shifts on New Year's Eve. I couldn't wait to get on the highway and rush home. After accompanying Grandma to make dumplings, he was concerned about my work. "Are you happy working in that hospital? Is there anyone bullying you? If you ask me, you should ask your uncle to say hello. It's okay to say hello these days." The little old lady made me laugh with a serious face. "Oh Grandma, don't worry about me. I'm happy at my job." When I was watching the Spring Festival Gala with Grandma, the messages in the group kept ringing, and a video of Sister Lee hiding in the corner and crying was recorded. "Give me back that when you were not around." His 700 or 800 New Year's popped up again, saying that his son had a fever and asked me to go back first with him. I didn't agree, so he started crying. I didn't reply, thinking in my heart that it was his character. The days of crying are still to come. As for Xiaoya, he sent me a private message of Happy New Year, and I also replied. After all, he is a colleague who supported me before I succeeded. In my heart, he is different. I distinguish between gratitude and grudges, and I will never let go of those who deserve revenge. After the new year, the work of the nurse station returned to normal. In March, Sister Lee had an accident. She fainted in the ward due to hypoglycemia. No one said anything. The director talked to me privately. "I read your information. You went to number 1 middle school for junior high school. You are my wife's student. E and I are one. Don't harm your teacher. The scumbag is really shameless." I asked what you wanted to say. He drank a sip of tea slowly. Xiaoli was in poor health and wanted to resign. I refused. It is impossible for him to take all the good things. How can you not stand the normal job? How did you work in the previous 10 years? You started to study health preservation after graduation. He made a hush gesture. "Xiaosu, don't be too aggressive. I'll go and ask for a nurse. Is that not okay? It won't increase your workload amount. That won't work either." I open my mouth. "In addition, you get divorced and leave the house with nothing. But you can't let Jingjing know. If you agree, I'm willing to let you go." What director is unbelievable, pointing at me. "Who do you think you are?" I still say the same thing. "Why don't you call my uncle and ask him to send someone to check whether your expenses are consistent with your income?" He frowned and finally took it seriously. "Who is your uncle? Who is your uncle?" I turned on my phone and called up the family photo. Li Tai, the head of the health bureau. Li Tai. I considerately put the phone in front of the director so that he could see it more clearly. The next second, bang. He fell off the chair. The posture was extremely ugly. In April, the teacher was reborn and got all the remaining property. In May, Sister Lee resigned, and a new nurse was transferred from the emergency department. He was surprised that no one bullied the newcomers and scolded his former colleague 800 times. In October, I sent the cat to the pet store for custody. He was fed a chocolate by a customer who was watching the cat, and died. I retrieved the surveillance and found that the customer was Sister Lee. After she resigned, someone took care of her and she lived a comfortable life as a full-time housewife. That day, she went into the pet store under the pretext of buying a cat to get cat food to experience feeding a cat. As a result, she fed the chocolate she had taken a bite of into my cat's mouth. When I confronted him, he cried and said that he didn't know cats couldn't eat chocolate. In the end, the pet store considered itself unlucky and paid a sum of money to settle the matter. But how could I let it go? In November, the health bureau sent people to the hospital to investigate corruption. They found out that the head nurse took medicine from the hospital warehouse and resold it. The director was very sensitive and dragged the old hand to ask me, "I haven't offended you recently, have I?" I thought about it and realized that my cat died, poisoned by Sister Lee. At night, Sister Lee knelt at the door of my house with a swollen face and said, Wei, I'm sorry, I was wrong, I'm sorry, please let me go." I was afraid that she would pull out a knife from her arms, so I quickly dodged the door and said, "No, no, no, sisterly, it's none of my business. I know nothing." In December, the teacher sued the director in court for transferring marital property. In June of the following year, the lawsuit was won. Sisterly sold her house and rented an old and dilapidated house with her son. In July of the following year, I left with my regular training certificate and stayed at home to take care of my grandmother. In August of the following year, the director was arrested for corruption. I don't know what happened next. I heard that Sisterly returned to the hospital as a nurse, and because of lack of money, she rushed to cover for others, charging only $200 per shift. One day Lulu sent a message in the group. "Look, only 1 year has passed and Sisterly has become so old. She always covers the night shift, which charges $300, can earn a little more. I feel a little sad about the picture," and I left the group out of sight, out of mind. Just then a beam of light came in, and I acted coquettishly to my grandma, saying whether I wanted to go to the flower market. Grandma hurriedly got up and saw that you didn't want to go to the flower market, but to the cat market. Your childhood friend has COPD at a young age. If you marry him in the future, how can you raise a cat? This makes me embarrassed. Grandma, please stop talking. Let's go see the flowers. Why can't you say it? Grandma kept nagging, saying that she heard that he is a rich second generation and even chased him to our small place. The whole text is over.